Hey guys, welcome to this week's podcast episode. And I've got a fantastic guest for you today, Ron, and he is an insurance adjuster expert. And especially with all of the turmoil with climate and insurance and property and all of this, he's a great person to have on the show. He's been actually recently featured on several news outlets since Hurricane Beryl, and I'm happy to have him on the show and talk about his work. So, Ron, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I love to start out the podcast where, we're 20, 25 minute fireside and just talk about, your business, your company, how you got to do what you do and how the audience can benefit from your expertise.
So I started out in the real estate business. I was building homes for a living, and then the crash happened in 2008.
Mm.
And somebody told me I should go be an adjuster since I know a lot about construction, and that's how I ended up on my side of the business. Is been a public adjuster now for 12 years, an IA for 16.
Uh-huh.
Uh, IAs work for insurance companies. Public adjusters only work for property owners.
Uh-huh.
And it's been an amazing 16 years learning the business and the industry and the changes that have gone on with insurance. It's just been crazy.
Like I said, these days without insurance, especially on property or, these things, you're really exposed. So I love this talk about this. We'll start off with and you have this idea of the game carriers play. So I'm curious. I want to know the inside scoop because like these premiums are, some of them are flat out outrageous and just so talk about that.
Yeah, so the insurance companies know the rules of the game, and most homeowners, they never go through an insurance claim, maybe once in their lifetime, so they really don't know what the rules are, and insurance carriers don't always show them or tell them what the rules are. So you're working in the dark. When I got in the business, an insurance policy used to be about 10 pages. Now it can be a couple hundred pages long. You need to have a law degree to read what your policy actually says. In most cases, it's gone crazy. And when you think you have coverage, but then on page 64 it says you don't have coverage because if this happens, or you think that you have a replacement cost value policy, and then once your roof hits this age, then you have an actual cash value policy. It's just crazy how insurance has changed over the last 15 years.
Protections for homeowners and because it sounds like the game's rigged and it sounds like they can change the rules at any time and like I said these premiums are really costly so what can people do to be better informed and protect themselves?
They need to start by reading their policy. And if they don't understand their policy, they need to ask somebody and get advice on their policy. Because, several years ago here in Texas, we had that freeze. And now a lot of policies have a limit on coverage on water damage for all the freeze damage. So where before if your house flooded, you could have policy limits. Now you might have $25,000 in coverage. So get advice, read your policy, make sure you understand what you have coverage for.
uh
And I mean, we do free consulting on policies all the time for homeowners
yeah,
and businesses.
which is interesting because when you say read the policy, and it's almost like it almost reminds me of these credit card when you read the terms of service, and but like I said, it's a couple hundred pages, and it's just kind of like I said, it's quite frankly, it's a waste of time. But if you don't read it, you're SOL, and if you don't have it, you're SOL too. So when should a owner or a consumer engage the services of a public insurance adjuster?
Once they feel like the insurance company is taking advantage of them. Sometimes that's at the very beginning of a claim. A large fire loss, Galveston right now, there's rain and flood and just about everything down there. And
Mm.
so property owners in a situation like that, it's probably too big a claim for them to handle. They need representation and they need somebody to help them through the claim process.
And so I love this like a large catastrophic loss. What resources are available to help property managers with an insurance claim?
So I always recommend in Texas, we have an association called the Texas Association of Public Insurance Adjusters. There's about 150 that are associated with that organization. I'm a member. I'm actually on the board, and we believe we have the finest public adjusters in the state of Texas. If you're outside of Texas, I'm also a member of the National Association of Public Insurance Adjusters. There's close to 1,000 of us in that organization. And property owners can go to either one of those sites, type in what their zip code is, and have access to professional public adjusters in their area.
And then moving on, I have actually a question just about basically about the whole, like insurance industry. Cause I know, for example, like in Houston, just for example, there's areas like Maryland where by the bayou just constantly gets flooded. And then it's like, and just like, I know homeowners, they got demolished with the flood and then they fix it up and then it floods a couple months later. And insurance, like they're stopping coverage on just because it's just and basically these areas like these coastal areas that just get flooded or tornadoes. What is your thoughts on the insurance industry and this ongoing climate change and the real estate industry?
So one of the interviews that I had with Fox News was about the fact that just in 2019, 7% of property owners didn't have homeowners insurance. Now it's up to 12. And the largest portion of those people are people over 65 who are on fixed incomes. They can't put food on the table. They got to choose between paying $4,000 or $5,000 a year for insurance or putting food on the table because they're on fixed incomes and fixed budgets.
Mhm.
So you're having to choose between risking not having insurance and getting hit by a major catastrophe or feeding yourself. Inflation is hurting people across the country. And we see that every day in this business. People are taking bigger risks with higher deductibles and less coverage. And I mean, we probably talk to one or two people a week that they call us for help, and then we review their policy, and there's no help that we can give them because their deductible's too high, or that they really didn't have enough damage associated with their claim because they have an ACV policy, or they don't have coverage for what they're trying to get coverage for. I mean, it's sad.
Which, like I said, I know for a lot of doctors in the audience listening, they're just like, for example, like OBGYN or just kind of these high risk professions, like their insurance premiums are just so outrageous they can't
Oh yeah.
operate their profit. And oh, sorry, you're gonna add, but go ahead.
No, I said, yeah. I mean, it's not just property that insurance is going up on. Medical insurance is through the roof also.
Mm.
And I mean, doctors are trying to find a place just to work, and they're being priced out of being able to work because of their insurance and what they're accepting and what they're having to pay out just to have general liability and general practice.
Yeah. And the so our question for you is with all of these high premiums and just everything, is the insurance industry making any money, or is it just kind of operating on thin margins, or are they basically just raking in the profit? I'm just curious.
So I think that depends on what articles you read and who you listen to. Like in the state of Florida, insurance companies are saying they're going bankrupt and they're leaving the state and so on and so forth. But the same carrier that's not making any money in Florida is making record profits in multiple other states because they shift the money around. The money that they should be making in Florida, they may move to Virginia or New York or some other state, and then they make record profits in that state and leave Florida like they lost money. But I mean, out there in California where you're at, a bunch of the like State Farm just left the state because they said they can't insure because of all the wildfires and the mudslides and so forth. But yet, California is one of the most profitable states for them, according to their annual shareholders meeting. So I don't know. There's so many moving parts. You don't know what to believe on that stuff. I for one think they're making tons of money. If they weren't making tons of money, they wouldn't continue to do it.
Uh-huh. And so this brings me to this idea because it's very similar to the medical profession, and I would say in the 90s it was really awesome. Doctors were making a lot of money, and then you came in managed care, and that destroyed everything. And but same thing with real estate, man. It was like real estate used to be very profitable, and now it's like now your tenants have more rights than you as a homeowner, and it's like all these like catastrophes. And is real estate profitable? Or I mean, it seems like it's more hassle than it's really worth.
I think when it comes to real estate, it's all in what market you're in. I was talking to a buddy before I got on the phone with you, and land has been huge for him here the last several years. They're not making any more of it, which means that if you have some of it, you probably have an asset that's going to appreciate over time. And he's been doing very well in land deals here this last couple of years. And like I said, I mean, you know how Texas is. We're growing faster than any other state in the country, and they got to have places to live. They got to
Yeah.
have places to put their businesses.
Yeah. I like this idea of geographical diversity, just because basically, I mean, because Texas, like, it's great for business, but like you have the summertime and it's just scorching hot, and you have these hurricanes down in the south, and then you've got tornadoes up in the north. And I mean, there's a lot of land, and you come to California, it's like wildfires, or you're in the Midwest, there's tornadoes. It's like, so you have to like kind of diversify and just kind of it's like almost like you can't plant your in one place anymore. So one one thing I have a question for you is you have this idea of B2B marketing and strategic alliances, and what are the best practices for B2B marketing and forming strategic alliances in the insurance adjusting industry?
So I'm a big fan of strategic marketing and alliances because you know the clients that you're looking for and that I'm looking for, there's other people in other industries that are looking for exactly the same client. So if you can form a strategic alliance or friendship, it doesn't have to be a partnership or anything like that, because you don't need partners for this business. But if you know that a property manager is going to be looking for the same type of property owner that you are, that's a good person to have a relationship with, and you can bounce ideas off on each other on how to go get more business for each other. They're a good resource to bounce back and forth off each other to go out and find new business. An HVAC person is a great person for an alliance for us, because they're on commercial roofs and they see those air conditioning units on a regular basis. Business insurance agent is a good referral source. So you look at building these relationships, and it's not just about them helping you, it's about you helping them also. Because the more people you help, all boats rise together is a philosophy I've had for years. If I can help enough people be successful, I'll be successful myself. I'm a big firm believer in that. And I mean, over the years, I've got 20 years in this, various businesses, and I guarantee you, I probably referred out to several $100 million in business over those years.
Which I love this idea of referrals, and you have this growth by acquisitions, and your company's grown significantly. And talk about your growth strategy, particularly through acquisitions.
So what we're looking to do right now is buy some of those businesses that would be a gross multiplier, right? So they may be doing $1 million a year, but if you buy them, then you could introduce them to all your referral sources and all your places that they are also trying to get into. And you would easily be able to double or triple them because of that in a short period of time. And so that's what we're looking at doing at this point in time, is using our relationships to buy other businesses that we can double and triple their growth in a short period of time.
I love that. We're kind of coming to the end. We recently had Beryl, and I know you were on a couple of the major news outlets, which we'll love to put the links in the show notes for the audience. But what strategies do you use to ensure property owners receive the maximum settlement possible?
So I don't like to use the word maximum settlement. We use what they're entitled to.
Uh,
We make sure they get everything they're entitled to under the policy that they have. Maximum makes it sound like you're gouging the insurance company, and by no means we're not going to gouge the insurance company. We're just going to make sure insurance pays what they're responsible to pay. So we do that. We have a team approach. We review all the damage at the property, review all the policy, we review past insurance claims to make sure that we capture everything that they're supposed to be getting out of the claim based on the insurance policy that they do have coverage for. Sometimes it takes a short period of time. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. But we're pretty effective at what we do, and it's because of our team approach that makes us good at it.
Yeah, I love that. How can people reach out to you? And because I know a lot of the audience could be based in Texas or affected by it, and they want to get a professional opinion, or how can they reach out to you?
Well, we're actually in 18 states. That we're just I live in Texas, but I travel several times a month all over the country. I have 12 states I have active claims in right now. But they can reach us at www.nationalclaimsnegotiators.com, and there's a free assessment on there if somebody's looking to ask questions about their claim or a situation that they may be in that they need help on.
Yeah, what a fantastic conversation, and to have an expert such as you come on the podcast, especially in this timely. And for all the audience, be sure to give Ron's socials a like and follow, and reach out to him if you're interested in consultation and working with him. And thanks so much for coming on.
Appreciate it.